what impact does this have on the Olympics as a whole? Is it like, well, take it in stride, we're in a pandemic and move on? Or is there a potential bigger problem here?
It is certainly, the organizers would say, something to be taken in stride. We've just got those first positive cases from inside the athletes' village, and there had been some positive cases already of support staff testing positive for the virus. And this has all been captured with a very stringent testing regime. Everyone entering the country gets a test at the airport, and then further testing in that initial mini quarantine that they have. So it is a good sign that the testing regime is picking up on some cases. Organizers may not like to say it out loud, but we would expect at least some positive cases slipping through the net there with those incubation times as well. And then for other athletes, it means they will not be able to participate at all. Tests being done in their home countries, like the example of Coco Gauff, as you mentioned. So some of those athletes just will not make it.
Yeah, huge disappointment for that young athlete. How's public sentiment when it comes to the Games, given that they are going ahead?
It is lukewarm at best. I mean, it is too late to turn around now. We are counting down the days to the opening ceremony, Friday here, local time. And a good proxy of the way people are feeling about the Olympics and the virus and the way that those two things interact is to look at the approval ratings for Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga, the guy you saw in some of the footage there. Over the weekend, we had some polls showing that his cabinet approval rating is continuing to tank. That's even after Tokyo entered another state of emergency. This is the fourth state of emergency, not a hard lockdown like you'd have in Europe, but it's designed to get people off the streets, staying in their homes as much as they can to reduce the spreader event from the Olympics and just the summer holidays. Now, for Suga, he actually has a general election coming up in just a couple of months and has to fight for leadership of his own party as well. And that fourth state of emergency, previous states of emergency saw an uptake in his cabinet approval rating because people were happy, he was counteracting the virus. This one hasn't made much of a splash in the public opinion.
Well, in fact, as you mentioned, Sophie, it seems like almost from the day he took office, his approval ratings have been struggling to stay steady and have declined for a number of reasons. So, are we looking at a possible change of government in Japan?
Well, Suga did inherit quite a difficult situation with the virus and the postponed Olympics taking power just in September last year after his long-running predecessor Shinzo Abe had to bow out for health reasons. A change of government in Japan in the elections coming up likely in October would seem unlikely. Suga's party, the Liberal Democratic Party, has held power here in Japan either by themselves or as a coalition for most of the post-war period. We did have an indication in Tokyo Metropolitan Assembly elections just in the past couple of weeks that some of those swing voters want to send Suga a message. Maybe they're keen to vote for the LDP in the upcoming elections, but they want him to smarten up and really do what he can in terms of the virus. So change of government unlikely. Possibly people will just stay away from the polls if they're feeling disillusioned. We've seen that here in Japan many times.